Welcome to the Financial Technology Report, a leading information source on financial technology companies and solutions. Today, we speak with Joaquim de la Cruz, co-founder and CEO of Flanks, a wealth management technology company based in Barcelona. Flanks was founded in 2019 to digitize and aggregate global wealth data, giving banks, family offices, and advisors a unified real-time view of their clients' portfolios. The company's platform, Flanks LUME, now connects over 350 financial entities and manages over $39 billion in assets. Flanks works with financial institutions across Europe and beyond to bring greater transparency and efficiency to wealth services. I'm your host, RJ Lumba. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you like the episode, click to follow. Joaquim, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you to you.
Would be interested to get started with how you and your co-founder came up with the idea of dealing with the wealth management industry. There's a lot of challenges in helping wealth management firms and financial advisors to create a more seamless and smooth platform to work from. So maybe give us a little bit of background around the founding story.
To be honest, like wealth management vertical is not the most sexy one behind the financial industry. Probably the people used to have ideas on the payment side and so on, because you in your daily life, you interact more with these kind of companies, no? But we created Flanks mixing two worlds, no? My co-founder Alvaro was coming from Santander, leading all the wealth management piece at Santander Global. And in my case, I was coming more from leading teams, data teams for different companies worldwide in the startup world. No? And we met each other in an elevator, like just as a film. And we said, hey, what do you do for a living? And we share like some thoughts and some ideas. And Alvaro was struggling a lot in Miami to aggregate information of their clients. And he had like literally a team aggregating information manually about their clients. And I said, I can help you on that. And we did do some MVP internal for us. And it works, no? And we said, okay, let's build Flanks, no? Let's build Flanks. And at the end of the day, the original idea of Flanks is like, okay, let's put the rails for the wealth management industry. Let's create the base that is the information to really offer advisory services or wealth management services on top of that. Well, that was a little bit the founding history and the idea behind that.
One would think that the data that you're dealing with is very confidential, very private. And, typically I think financial institutions would want to house that within their own systems that they have full control over. And I presume that, Santander would also want that internally, but somehow you have your global head of wealth management there saying, well, no, I think this could be like a separate tool. So how does it work, in the context of financial institutions needing to know and maintain privacy?
I think that you need to deal with that. And this is very, very important. At the beginning, when we were creating the company, obviously after the MVP, we said, okay, before having any client, we decided to regulate the company. This means that we apply for regulation from Bank of Spain with European passport for account information service provider. That this is like a regulation that allow to fintech companies to access to cash information, not investment information. But for us was like, okay, let's regulate the company. Let's put the security process, all this kind of procurement around the company, just to be prepared to work this industry. Because as you mentioned, all this industry is about trust. And when you are talking with a bank and say, hey, we are going to offer to you a service that you can see the 360 view of the client, they say, amazing, but okay, who stores the data? And you are a startup. Then you need to provide this trust to the clients. Also, how we are dealing with that also is like we partner with top brands in terms of security. For example, Deloitte or EY, they are doing a lot of pen testing in our platform, and they are giving comfort to also our clients. And also we offer possibilities that the clients can store the data, they manage all the data, and we just act as a pipe. And it works like really, really well. But at the beginning was challenging because also you need to capture like the tier 2 and tier 3 clients before like jumping to the tier 1s, because when you go to the tier 1s, they ask to you, okay, you are small, you are just 10 people team, how you are going to deal with this confidential data and so on. But yeah, it's like network effect a little bit, regulation, and then also like the right technical solutions in place.
hmm And, in terms of your client base, is it a mix of some of the big institutions with wealth management arms as well as maybe the boutique financial advisor shops?
Yeah, in terms of our clients, we always say that we can serve to all the wealth management industry. But the reality is at the beginning of the company, we started like more like small family office, small boutiques. We generated a little bit of network effect. And now, 6 years after, we are seeing that like the most important clients in our business now are banks who they really want to offer a 360 view of their clients, and they want to offer advisory on top of all the services that they offer. But we still remain like more than 100 family office and boutiques and so on that they use our platform daily. Then we still have this mix of family office, multifamily office, private banks, more boutique or more massive, and also fintech and also tax advisors. Like we have like this wide range of clients.
And is the 360 view more applicable to the advisor as they're reviewing their client's information, or does that view extend to the end client, the actual person that has the assets?
For sure that the 360 view always goes to the end client. That's for sure. We work on generate reporting, generate value that at the end of the day comes to the end client. But it's true that the advisor have like more information, like they can play more with the data and so on. But also on the other hand, we are seeing that a new generation of wealthy people coming that they want to touch more information, they want to play more with information, and this is a huge trend, and now more with the AI world. That's why during the last 6 months, we are seeing more and more clients say, hey, let's put on the table of our clients the same technology that we have as advisor. Then it's a mix. As a Flange, we are agnostic, to be honest. We can offer the technology to the clients, to the advisor, or both. But the reality is that it's still like more information in the advisors, but always the information will go to the end client.
And are you primarily in Spain and Europe?
Yeah, we try to be like quite focused in terms of clients in Europe. And why I say clients, because we have two types of relationship, the data sources and the clients. The clients are mainly in Europe. We have some clients also in Latin America, especially in Mexico and Brazil, but mainly we have clients in Europe. On the other part, we have data sources, and data sources are worldwide. We have connectivity on US banks, Latin American banks, European banks, Asian banks, African banks. We have connectivity worldwide, and that's a little bit the value proposition of Flanks. But in terms of clients, we are quite focused in Europe, especially now we are really, really strong in France or French-speaking region, France, Swiss market, Luxembourg, Belgium, and so on. Obviously, Spain or Spanish-speaking region. And then now we are opening office in Germany and London to continue or expanding there.
Is there a threshold of net worth that your end client typically has? Because it looks like you're simplifying the complexity of, say, an end client that has, a variety of types of assets. What's your target client? What do they look like?
This is a really, really good question. Historically, we had a client that our client is the advisor, no? That typically the advisor advise around 1 billion under advisory. Less than 1 billion under advisory is less relevant for us. But this is changing a lot during this year because we realize that something really, really magic happens, no? This year appears more or less the AI boom, no? Everyone is talking about AI. And if you say, okay, what is making special the wealth management industry? The reality is like the hyper personalization, no? The relationship that you have with your advisor. But now it can be boosted by AI. Now you can handle a lot of personal stuff using AI. We are seeing more and more clients trying to build use cases for affluent segment that is between 100K and 2 million. That is 4 times bigger the market than the private market industry, trying to serve that with AI plus or data. And this is like quite a special use case that we are seeing there.
We talked a little bit about your background in the beginning and within the founding story, but would love to hear a little bit more. Where did you grow up? Did you always have this desire to be an entrepreneur?
The reality is that no, I was professional dancer. That was like my background. I know that is not the typical path for a computer engineer. To be honest, I was like combining dancing with bachelor degree of a computer engineer. And at some point I decided, okay, computer engineer or dancer. I choose dancer for 1 year. I decided that, okay, maybe it's not wealth worth. And I decided to jump to computer engineer. And then I started my career in the computer engineer on the data piece, basically extracting data from like systems and trying to manage like high volumes, try to build like Instacart in Europe or like really, really big projects. And after that, I say, okay, I want some freedom. I want to really help the society. And especially after like some back and forth on the financial sector, I said I'm build my own company in the financial services sector, but nothing related with finance before, nothing related with entrepreneurs. And also like, yeah, I decided to do that because I think that especially in the financial sector, we need a little bit of fresh air also. We need new people coming outside from the industry, trying to solve problems that are too big to be solved from inside the industry. That's, I think, one of the points.
And, it's quite a jump to go from working in, say, a corporation to starting your own company. What was perhaps the most surprising thing that you found to be very difficult or the biggest challenge in kind of getting your company off the ground?
I think that always like the main challenge is getting like the first client, especially in the financial sector. Because even if you have the best product, you go to pitch the product and everyone at the table is saying, oh, this is amazing. This is solving a lot of problems. Okay, I offer to you for free. This is a POC. You sign here the paper. Oh, no, no, no. Sign a paper? No, 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 no. But you are in the startup. Wait, wait, wait. And I think that for sure the harder moment was getting the first client. And also a very, very frustrating moment was when we started the company, we called the regulator and we say, okay, we want to apply for the regulation as a company. And the regulator say, hey, you are going to need 15 days. I said, okay, 15 days. It's enough. We raised some money. We prepared the company for that. But the process took 2 years and was like, okay, 2 years waiting the approval from the regulator without clients. And it's like even worse than the first one. And then, yeah, that's were the two main topics. Now, when you are in a corporate, again, you have all the regulations, you have all the resources and so on. But you don't have the resources when you are building your startup and you are just 2 or 3 building that.
Mm-hmm. And can you give us a sense for the scale of your company now? And you can use whatever metrics you're comfortable sharing.
Now, as a company, we are serving more or less in all the countries in Europe. More or less, we have at least one client in all the countries in Europe. Basically, the main metric that we are looking for is the number of portfolios, no, the number of accounts that we aggregate in the system, and we are aggregating monthly around 500,000 portfolios per month, which is like quite massive. And we are supporting, for example, in Spain, we support like all the tier one institutions. In France, like the main tier one institutions are our clients, and also we serve really, really, really big family office. Also in terms of employees, but we are 100 people here in Barcelona serving, which means that we are not just two guys on the table, like trying to serve the family office.
I imagine the portfolios are not typical portfolios, meaning that there's probably some interesting assets in there. I'm wondering if it's hard to track certain assets.
The reality is like we try to track 80% of the portfolio. We always say that because why the 80%? I learned that from like a client that came to me and said, oh, you're going to track my horses. I said, okay, I'm not going to track your horses. I can track your online assets, the thing that you have even in PDF. I can deal with that. But obviously, I cannot track your plane, your horses, or maybe your house. Also, we help the clients to introduce that in the system, obviously manually, and we help to them to give them a global performance and so on. But yeah, the reality is that family office typically they invest quite in the same assets in the financial sector or in the public sector better. We are seeing a trend that people investing more and more and more in the private sector, private equity, hedge funds, and so on. Obviously, also in the crypto space, we are seeing especially the new generation investing a little bit more there. To be honest, less institutional from our point of view. This means that less people have cryptos inside the family office portfolio. They have more personal relationships with the crypto. But also we are seeing a lot of real estate asset or real assets that the client aggregates manually. And there in the system, we have planes, horses, houses, or whatever, obviously manual, and the client give to us evaluation.
Do you have plans to expand into the US?
Yeah, in the US, we are seeing a super, super good segment, especially in the affluent part. We are seeing that ultra high clients, they are okay, they have their own solutions, nothing to do there. But we are seeing space super interesting that are the clients that are affluent between 100K and 2 million, that no one is taking care about them. And no one is offering anything to them. And wealth management is not about money. It's about help. It's about offering them something they can improve their financial life. They can learn, and Flanks plus the new generation of AI, I think that is the perfect combination to really tackle this segment. And especially in the US, there is a huge need to do that.
We're entering the tail end of the conversation. I have two final questions. One is, can you tell us about a person who has had a profound influence on you?
I think that a lot of people, first of all, Alvaro, my co-founder, I learn a lot from Alvaro, even if it's like a co-founder, I really, really learn a lot. Before being an entrepreneur, I was trying to learn from the big ones, like Steve Jobs, Zuckerberg. Obviously, all the kids in computer engineer, I was dreaming on that. These are like the main ones, obviously more in the personal level. My main mentors were like my parents, my brother. I learned a lot from them, and I learned like the most important part as a human, that are the values that you follow. These are like my mentors, I think.
Last question. Can you tell us about a charity, cause, or other endeavor that you're passionate about?
I typically try to help in all related kids growing in parts of the world that is not easy to grow. I don't care about politics. I just care about opportunities. And I am a little bit obsessed that everyone needs the same opportunities and need to grow in an equal world. That's why I try to help any organization that the goal of the organization is helping the kids in that sense.
Excellent. Well, Joaquim, want to thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you to you. Thank you.